introduce today's moderator while we have the last couple people signing in and taking seats. Thank you for coming to today's Tuesday Times Roundtable. I'm Eric from the Office of Global Learning. Joan Wynne directs the Urban Education Master's Degree Program here at FIU's College of Education. The influence of her students and educators like Lisa Delpit, Robert Moses, and others have driven her research and writing about transformational leadership, quality education as a constitutional right. Her newest book, Confessions of a White Educator, Stories in the Search of Justice and Diversity, explores what works and doesn't work in public education. Her last 10 years have been dedicated to two lines of inquiry. One concerns researching the visionary curriculum and pedagogy of the Algebra Project and the Young People's Project. These are organizations that are deeply rooted in American history and grassroots communities. The other is an exploration of what it means to be a citizen of the world, which closely aligns with FIU's Global Learning Initiative and part of the Tuesday Times Roundtable series. For the last 3 years, Dr. Wynne has been facilitating university faculty workshops to explore the content of global learning and the kind of teaching needed in the classroom, regardless of the discipline, to engage students in looking at the world through multiple lenses. She is committed to the vision of FIU to help develop its students through the Global Learning Initiative as collective problem solvers, not just as individual vessels of knowledge for self-aggrandizement. And on a personal note, I think Dr. Wynne is one of the most perfect examples of a human being who, even though I've never had a class with her, has taught me much through example of how to treat others graciously and stand up for those who need it.
Thank you. Thank you for that more than gracious introduction. I think that's the best thing anybody's ever said about me. So thank you for that. Those of you who are standing in the back, feel free to stand in the back if you want, but there are seats up here. And we'd like for you to be comfortable, although I'm going to have you up and down because I'm a participatory kind of nut when it comes to education. So I like the audience not to be the audience, but to be the participators. So I'm delighted that you're here, and I'm really delighted that some of our representatives from Miami Northwestern High School are here. Yes. And Bob Moses, who has been one of my mentors and certainly my hero, and who is an American treasure, at least David Lawrence introduces him that way, is working at Miami Northwestern with the Algebra Project, which is a revolutionary way to teach mathematics. And he too uses rap and hip hop and rhythm and drums and to teach algebra. So what I wanted to do before we actually get into our agenda is I wanted to ask if each of you would just say your name so we know who is here in the room. And we have a much larger group of folks than I realized. So if you could just do that, if you just kind of stand up and say your name. Barbara, can you start?
I'm Barbara King.
John Zapata. Who? John?
Zapata.
I'm Natalie Benito.
Who?
Reginald Richardson.
Jennifer Consolo.
Okay. Say a little louder because I'm old and don't hear that well.
Vance.
Grace. Alexandra. Carolina.
Willie.
Come on, bro. Look at your name.
Please stand up.
Jaquan.
Jaquan. Thank you.
Frank.
Frank.
Joan. Carla.
Ito. Who? Frank. Brad. King. Jamal.
Isabella.
Who?
Savannah.
Yeah, I'm Robert.
Ahmed. Iti. Sarah.
And how about you?
Please say your name.
Oh, you've already finished, right, sorry.
Nancy.
My name is Ms. Bethel. I'm the department chair at my Northwest Association.
Stand up.
And the department chair, which department?
Different departments.
Oh, different departments. Well, good to meet you. And your name? Okay. And I think there's some more seats if you want to come down. You don't have to, but if you want to, there are more seats here. So, what I'm going to ask you to do, I assume you've all come because you like that topic. Either a professor made you come, or you happen to like that topic about hip hop and science and the merging of the two. And so what I'd like for you to do in just a moment, I'm going to invite all of you to read the passages on the wall, because the passages on the wall are taken from different scholars, science and other literacy scholars, who have and are using hip hop in their classrooms to teach sophisticated conceptual knowledge. So I'd like for you to walk around the room, read all the passages, and then go and stand underneath the passage that seems to call your name, the one that resonates the strongest with you, either because you love it or you hate it. Doesn't matter, but just the one that seems to be the most compelling to you. If you will stand underneath that after you've read all of them, and then as others gather, I will call time and ask you to share with each other, whoever is standing under that passage with you, to share why you were drawn to that passage. Okay? So how about everybody getting up and moving around? No, they are not, darling. So put your stuff down and make yourself at home. Yeah. Yeah.
We got about, we actually have no title and that's it. But it's hard to coordinate like 7 or 8 people. Yeah. And everyone has their own ideas. But I'm glad that you're doing this.
Hi. How you doing? Good. Wow, cool beans. Does anybody need more time to find a passage? Raise your, oh, you do? Fine, I can wait. So while we're waiting for others to gather, what I'd like for you to do is once you start telling your stories, and after you're finished telling those stories, then I'd like for someone to self-select as a reader and someone to self-select to kind of summarize what the discussion was, just a main point or two. Okay? So have at it. Start talking. And just tell them why you chose that particular passage. You want to find a passage? Thanks. That's the one you like? Okay, get on over there and give them your opinion. All opinions are worthy, so just tell your opinion.
You don't even know what it was.
What is your
I just like the position that they see like two unlikely fields, but everything is connected to finding that
I really don't like it when they disregard it as bad music. It isn't. I think a lot of songs are kind of iffy, but a lot of times are good because you need a lot of thought process to actually put the words together and sound good. And along with making the music itself just to ease everything. It's science, and I have all the songs that are already intricate. Like I've tried to do it, but not everybody can. And I told them to read art. Oh, yeah. It has a lot of modern music. A lot of.
Does any group need more time for discussion? Raise your hand if you need more time for discussion. Okay, then what I'd like for you to do now is choose a person who's going to come up to the front with me and read the passage out loud, and then someone else who's going to explain one main point that came out of your discussion together. Does that make sense? Okay, cool.
Does anyone else want to input?
Okay, you ready? Come on down. I need a reader and a talker. Reader and a reporter. Two people. Two people from each group. The reader and the reporter. Yeah, I want you to come down here so the mic will pick you up. Is that okay? Okay.
He's a reader and I'm the summarizer.
Okay, cool. Okay, let's put this in second. Oh, I can't move. That's right. We're attached. Okay. So if I can have your attention.
Everyone quiet, please.
Can I have your attention over here? Oh, okay. She said to leave it on me that way. Okay. Now let me see if I can get it back on. Okay, if I can have your attention for just a moment. We have some folks who volunteered to read their passage and also to give at least one main point that came from their discussion. So this young man, and I'll ask all of the talkers if you would introduce yourselves first and then talk.
Hi, my name is Marvin Bravo, and I chose this one. I chose this quote. On a recent afternoon at Teachers College, Dr. Emden likened the skills required for success in science to those of a good rapper. Curiosity, keen observation, and ability to use metaphor and draw connection.
I said my name before, I'm Levance Walker, civil engineer major, poet. As far as this quote goes, it takes science to do hip hop. As far as the wordplay, the placing of the words, the structure of it, if you don't say it the right way, it's not going to come out right. So, for example, for wordplay, access to knock the word off as access while you're asking how in the world I have the access to call you actors, actress. Those take structure, time, patience to put those words in exact different formats so that you can actually think about it. And what beat itself is science, because if you put it at the wrong frequency, it's going to be crazy, you know. So yeah, it takes equations and structures and formulas to do that right.
All right. Thank you so much. Okay, over here to our right. And if you can, speak as loud as you can, because this is a big room and we need you to fill it up. Okay? Thanks.
Hi everyone, my name is Tanya, and the quote that all of us over there chose as well, along with myself, is the principal at the Marie Curie School for Medicine, Nursing and Health Professions in the Bronx, where Dr. Emden developed his methods, spoke highly of Dr. Edmonds' classroom record. He had improved his students' assessments, pass rates, and attendance levels. Science and math are the hardest to get students interested in. The principal said his students became invested in physics, able to identify terminology or vocabulary, and also able to use that to apply scientific formulas.
I'll be the other representative. My
You
name
wanna-
is Iti, and we thought that one of the main points was that science and math are the hardest to get students interested in. I think it's a he or she, I don't know, the doctor gets it right. Because it's not like art. There are many forms of art, so it's easy to get interested into one of them. But science and math, you actually need to use your mind and a lot of background knowledge to like it or to get to know how to do it. So that's why it's hard, because it requires a lot of input from you.
And critical thinking.
And critical thinking.
So it's like if you don't like math, like if you don't learn like one step, how can you move on to the next? Just like science, like if you go like from Chem 1, you have to go up to Chem 2, but if you didn't get Chem 1, how can you get Chem 2? But like a other kind of course, like, you know, you can just read the textbook and probably get it, but like science and math are like really like critical thinking courses.
Thank you. Okay, we have one other group over here to the right.
How you doing, everyone? Again, I'm President Richardson. We chose this quote. Even mainstream Hollywood is dealing with issues related to hip-hop. Although the music is largely criticized by politicians, religious groups, and some women's groups, its proponents claim that it is here to stay, as it represents a resistant voice of urban youth through its articulation of problems that this generation and all Americans face on a daily basis.
Okay. My name is Guillermo Giovanno. Me and him, we were kind of discussing it. Basically, what it's saying that a lot of people are just criticizing the music, but in our own daily lives, the music interacts with us. So the music ain't going anywhere, it's here to stay.
Yeah, so basically, you know how on the radio and in the newspapers, politicians, you always hear them saying that rap is the cause of why things are the way they are, when really rap is just speaking about things and that they are the way that they are. So.
It's
Thank
basically
you.
the individual's will.
That is essence.
Thank you. Okay, so here.
My name is Ken, and this the quote you see. Roland Powell argues strongly that hip-hop music is a representative voice of urban youth, since the genre was created by and from them.
And I'm Roland Folks. I'm an anthropologist by training and profession. I didn't disagree with this. All I said was to add it was, you know, I've lived in 85 countries around the world on 5 continents, and not just urban youth, but youth period. In the remote villages of Central Africa to the Indian reservations out west, those are not urban communities, but they are youth who are experiencing the same experiences. as urban youth, New York City based, Chicago, LA, Miami, experience. So it's a universal youth experience, and it gives those youth voice. It's a representative in their own language, but the experiences are the same when it comes to age range. So I don't disagree, as I say, I just expand on it.
Thank you so much. We'll go, all right.
How you doing? My name is Frank Williams.
Ah.
No, we chose this because
Okay. Right.
Baker, Farley, and George all argue that the creative people who are talking about new culture in a way that makes sense have to be rappers. And youth are responding in many ways. Hip-hop artists sold more than 81 million CDs, tapes, and albums in 1998, more than any other genre of music.
Yeah, like he said, my name is Isabella. The way I see this is, it actually is very true. You know, as a teenager, we usually see ourselves, you know, misunderstood by society and by the rules that they apply and culture. We feel that all the adults, all the rules, they don't make sense. They're just there to limit us. But somehow we feel more confident when we are approached by somebody who's on our same walk of life, on our same level of maturity also. And we actually portray them as people that we can actually follow. And we can actually be, you know, this guy's doing this with his life, maybe I can do the same with my life. Therefore, when you relate to teenagers in a way they can understand, not just with numbers, not just with algebra, not just with formulas, they'll actually open up more. Because it's like society, we feel like as youth or teenagers, a lot of us have felt oppressed by the different types of things that are kind of pushed on us, different types of beliefs, different types of ideas. And therefore hip hop, rap, those things actually free us. It kind of gives, you know, a vibe to it. It doesn't have any rules, doesn't have any limitations. It's completely blind. Anybody can do it. Chinese people have done it. African Americans, Latin people. It's open to everybody. Therefore, when that speaks to us, we can actually learn and relate to it also.
So because I'm in the College of Ed, I want you to be a teacher, okay? All right, next group.
Hello, Jamal. Ultimately, our experience in introducing hip-hop and other elements of popular cultures into traditional curriculum lead us to believe that there are countless possibilities for urban educators who wish to jump outside the box and tap into the world of their students in order to make more powerful connections with traditional academics, textures, and firms in meaningful ways, the everyday lives of those who teach.
Hi, my name is Regal, and basically, I think we go to many classes where it's just boring, and the instructors are just talking nonsense. Woo! And it would be, if you thought outside the box and you made this interesting, we'd actually want to come to your class. People would actually pick you to be their instructor. I know some of these people might be in high school, but when you're in a university, like you go to that Rate My Professor, and it's like, this guy's boring. You're not gonna learn anything. And it's true, you sit in the dude's class because you have no other option but to pick that schedule, because your life, you can't come to school all day. And then you end up listening to some dude that's talking nonsense the whole time, and you're like, if I could teach myself better than this guy can teach me. So if they would just think outside the box and try to capture the audience instead of just reading the same monotonous material that they've been teaching for years, they might intrigue us to want to come to school at the age of 31. You know?
And you need to be a teacher too. Fantastic. Now, did everyone get a chance to report out?
Yeah.
Oh, one left. Okay, sorry. Great. All right.
This one says many rappers consider themselves.
We've got one left. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Many rappers consider themselves as educators and see at least a portion of their mission as promoting consciousness within their communities. I said it a little fast, I don't know if you guys understood. But this stood out to me because one of the first, I was never into hip hop as such, but one of the first artists I really got into was Tupac. And when I speak to other young people, who are heavy into hip hop and the hip hop culture, a lot of them refer to Tupac and Biggie and so forth. And within Tupac's music, he was an educator for the young blacks during his time, even for now, because that's probably the first place most of them have ever heard of Marxist theory or Machiavelli or these other things that we have been taught in school in a theoretical context rather, that tends to be a little bit dry and, like they were alluding to, boring and heavy contextual information. So through hip hop, students are, children, even little kids are introduced to these individuals and these historical writers, and then they go and take the time out and do the research themselves, and you learn more about the world around us. And yes, this does develop, does promote the consciousness within communities. I'm going back to the first stage of hip hop. That allowed the black youth during that time to connect and develop an understanding and a consciousness of the historical black movement, of the civil rights movement, of what they were trying to do within the community. So I think that hip hop is a fundamental tool in education. And then also the fact that kids, you listen to any preschoolers, they could spit the lyrics of any rap song before they can do their multiplication tables.
That is good.
Again.
Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you very much. The brilliance is definitely in the room, isn't it?
We won, right?
I should have had prizes, right? Everybody should walk away with a prize. See, you've taught me something. That's what I'll have to add next time. Thank you for that. Thank you all for doing that, because I know oftentimes, and I know when I was younger, I would not have gotten up in front of all these people, these strangers, and voiced my opinion. So I congratulate you on that, and I am grateful for that, because you make learning exciting. Now what I'd like to do, I just want to show a short 5-minute video that was taken from this very work from the New York Times article about Dr. Emden, who was a high school teacher and now is a professor in a university. But it's just a 5-minute quick clip that kind of shows you what he's been doing with the science students. So do we need to dim the lights, or will that? Oh, okay, great. So we're going to have a little exercise to do after this video that relates to the video. Okay, thank you. Oh my God, is it one?
The thing about this room, a science lab, it can welcome hip hop if educators chose to allow it to. Because, people talk all the time about culturally relevant pedagogy, culturally responsive pedagogy, but if we look more broadly at the intersections of the culture of people of color, it's hip hop. So, here we are at Marie Curie High School in the Bronx. To me, the fact that you have a graph piece as the entryway into the school, it just speaks to the fact that, we're welcoming who you are. And so they see themselves when they walk in every day. They see their culture represented when they walk in every day. And then you go in, and in the classroom where the teachers are working on this hip-hop based approach to science, we're hoping great things happen. The bottom line is, if you don't bring in youth culture into the classroom, you exist in a space where you're only putting in an established culture. And an established culture necessarily alienates someone. And the thing about science in particular is that historically it's been known as a discipline that is very Eurocentric and is completely divorced from the ways of knowing and being of a diverse amount of folks. Any group that doesn't see themselves as part of the history of science becomes removed from it. And if we don't embrace the culture of the youth in front of us, then we're saying we don't want you to be successful academically. We might as well just say that. And so culturally responsive pedagogy in the new millennium embraces hip-hop culture. And usually in education, people rest at hip-hop as rap. And in my work, I really explore all the components of hip-hop. So hip-hop as dress, hip-hop as movement, hip-hop as graffiti, hip-hop as art, and hip-hop as pedagogy.
The hip-hop culture, and as you can see, I am not from the hip-hop culture. I had to embrace it in order to move the agenda for kids. If we want here to be a home for kids, we have to know how to grab them. And one way is to accept them as they are. How do we address this with our students?
I mean, the first thing I oftentimes do in the classroom is I begin the classroom by taking pictures that are inherently hip-hop and deconstructing them scientifically. That's real gangster. So I'll take like, a picture of 50, with his chain hanging and say, let's talk about the links in this chain and what this chain is made of. Is it really platinum? Are there alloys? And they're like, what? Like, this isn't science. And I'm like, dude, it definitely is science, right?
You said that last time, we just love the way he came about trying to teach you science. Like, he came about it in a good way, not like just bashing you to hear a bunch of information. He tried to teach it in a fun way so you would actually understand.
The second thing is the use of the cipher. The cipher are these modes of communication in hip-hop where rappers stand together in a circle and exchange ideas. And when I teach science, I create ciphers in the classroom. So have you sit in a circle like they were in the cipher. If we create an opportunity where there's some hybridity, where there's a merging of culture, then new things are birthed.
Learning from what he did with us, even though we are all from different, I would say we're all different ethnicities, there's still that one culture.
Everyone, everything that's different is to be appreciated. So diverse cultures are important, and I think hip-hop speaks a lot to that.
Science educators talk all the time about argumentation. So argumentation in hip-hop lends itself to the art of the rap battle.
So get your facts straight. We rap renegades, renegades from the UK. On the sideline, when you go to time, it's a way of party.
So rap battles about, who's the best rapper, or rap battles about who's the best scientist. I already got to remember playing music in the classroom. Even though it's not physical, it's like symbolic. If I actually hear the same sounds that I hear outside, it sort of makes science seem like it's a little bit more connected. So that's why I did it. Now, secret is revealed.
That made me everybody more comfortable though.
Yeah. It's really a focus on getting urban youth who have traditionally not been able to be successful in these disciplines to finally feel like I can wear a lab coat, and I can rhyme, and I can dance, and I can do graffiti, and all of that is all mixed together into who I am. But I don't have to extract who I am from being academically successful. I think that's the beauty of the work.
Okay, so what I'm going to ask you to do, I'm going to skip part of my agenda because I realize that I might not be able to finish the whole thing, and I wanted to take a comment or two from each of you before I put you in a group, or ask you to put yourself in a group. So from this video, was there anything particularly compelling that you found that you could mention? Yes.
I like the part when he say the cipher.
Yes.
Everybody sits down in a circle.
Yes.
He does that with science. So it's fun. It's fun for us to learn, and it's fun for us to actually be there instead of just being there bored going to sleep.
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
Thank you.
Anyone else find something that they'd like to mention that you heard Dr. Emnon say, Chris Emnon?
The fact that, yes, the current curriculum is eliminating and he is moving towards the inclusion of ourselves within that curriculum, making it more personal, because when it becomes personal, it lasts longer, and it's something that the children tend to retain because they can now identify and they're part of what they're learning. So that makes the learning process a lot more exciting.
And you notice his principal said he is integrating the different cultures into science, which is considered a Eurocentric discipline, right? So what he's doing is showing multiple perspectives about one discipline, right? So what I'm going to ask each of you to do now is, oh, and let me share one thing with you that I think is useful knowledge, is that I had a PhD student about 4 years ago who did her dissertation on using hip-hop music to teach reading fluency to second graders. She had a lot of struggling readers in the second grade, and she wanted to raise those reading levels. And so she started off using hip-hop with the reading, and she absolutely had incredible success at that. And she did it in 5 different classes, and then had another teacher from another class do it in 5 different classes. And all 5 classes showed considerable progress in the fluency. So it's been used in a number of disciplines, but it is especially successful with math and science. Okay, so what I'm going to ask you to do is to think about your own science education, think about your own math education, think about other kinds of education, and your experiences there. And I'd like for you to get with a group. It doesn't matter how many are in the group. You know, there are probably 30 of us in the room, Eric, do you think? So maybe if you could make the group, say 6 in a group, so we'd have 5 groups of 6. And I'm going to ask you to do what Dr. Emnon gets his students to do, and that is, and what Bob Moses had a group of us, I was working with students, and we had some teachers working with the students too, and all of us had to develop a rap about math. So what I'm going to ask you to do, because many of you mentioned the concerns of your education and how you're taught, I'd like for you to make a rap in a small group about your concerns in education. Can be anything. There's no right or wrong answer. It's just a rap. So, and then we're going to ask you to perform that rap. Okay? Are you with me? Can you go with it? Great. Okay. So we don't have a lot of time, but I think we have enough time. All right? So just work with get with at least 5 other people. And
Okay, y'all group it? This group? All y'all group it? Yes. That's 6. That's 6.
How many
No, we're just gonna write something about this poet. Everybody's poetry with a little bit of swag. I can help, but I do not. If you want. It's a cipher, buddy. A cipher. Everybody takes their turns and throwing in the 2 words. A cipher's a circle. And then you start, the next person follows your idea. We're not going to freestyle it, it's better if we just write something down. But everybody picks off everybody else's ideas and continues the flow. That's what a cipher is.
Are you going to teach them?
I already looked, nowadays the type of teaching is why you can exactly, you know, you just like
Maybe you can help.
I'm not a freestyler, so I just have to put it on paper. I can't come off the top of the head. I can write it, but I can't come off the top of the head. I've been doing music since I was getting big. I've been a DJ since I was like,
Hey, you are going to go very something.
everybody has to have like 2 cents into our piece. So,
That would join us?
yeah, they're already joining us. They turned around.
Go ahead, what's your, you want to put one concern on the table?
It's not really a rap per se. You just speak your mind as long as it has. If you want to, because my beat might not be your beat. You might have a more soft, methodical beat. I might be a little quick and crazy.
The classes were boring. Okay? Anybody else have another concern to put down before we start doing our round?
They have everything coming out. They got
So, alright, so I'm gonna read you the concerns and then we're gonna have to read.
That's basically what she said.
Okay, so I've got, yeah, you gotta have some rhyme.
It's not per se.
So you come up here so you can rhyme, because I'm not good at this, okay? Alright, so we got FCAT, SAT, material, visualize all levels.
I am not going to speak up there.
I get nervous. That's not jumping.
So those are the complaints and.
Hey, she knows.
Don't work on it.
You said we got it, right?
You're back up to this. Beg your pardon? So you're taking it.
Yeah, he just said all of that. Keep the beat for you.
I'm gonna turn it red as hell up there. It's not gonna happen.
What do you see?
70%. So that's good rhymes that you have. You gotta take this. I think you're right.
That's how he's got the
I can't believe what you write. You write.
Too many years trying to push myself out of the teachers. I left so I could Wikipedia. And on my own, I went to jail. So I have to take school. When that's writing fast, when I write
Go ahead, go ahead.
I put it down.
No, English.
Exactly. I sit in class all the time. And I have a professor that'll make me clap at the end of the time. That'll make me clap at the end of the lecture or the structure of the words, intrigued by the use of the word.
All right, so.
But a good teacher
Monday through Friday, Saturday.
That's a good point.
Do we have to put something in there about science?
No breaks.
So, anybody need any help with their rap?
Hey, we gonna win. We gonna
Well, I don't have to be a rapper.
Sounding good.
I don't have to be a rapper.
I can't rap without
Speak in 2 sentences. How can you not rap without omit those words it takes? So we're speaking science over here, kids. All right, 1 + 1 = not 1 minus 1. We killing people.
We have green breaks.
Because we have to make this slow down. So, you can read it. Monday to Friday, Saturday, test. That's all we say. Give us a sample. Y'all ready? We stop it. We gotta run.
Do you need more time?
No, I need more time.
Oh, yeah.
So, will 2 more minutes be enough time?
Turn around and get down.
How much time we got left?
How about, is 2 minutes enough time? Or do you need more? 3, okay, give me 3. That's creativity.
Quiz.
What about a traditional way of learning?
Chill out.
What I get from the guys think obviously shows how it does, but it's just a matter of it kind of forces you in order to be able to speak about that topic. So to me, it's like a smart way to catch the kids' attention. Are we making? Because now you're like, I need to be on top of my game. So when I'm sitting in a cipher, I have something to talk about instead of just monitoring it in class. It makes you you're having to learn something to be able to say, okay, he just finished talking about physics. Like I'm not a science coach, but I can pick up on whatever, like oh physics, whatever. Physics makes me happy because you put whatever.
Basically, it's like
Whatever topic they're covering that you want to
Just
add
follow
on.
through. You add your little tasks. You don't have to be a rapper per se. Like, you don't have to be straight. You don't have to try to make it right. But for me, it's an interesting way of making people learn. I thought it was cool. So I'm always sitting in class and I'm like, this is boring. I gotta go home and teach myself everything because they're boring as hell. I don't learn it. Don't say stuff. It's like, this is a waste of an hour of my life.
Oh yeah.
Because I have to write.
Look at it. Good job, bro. Oh, y'all got rap
Introduction to sociology.
No, we got a trick over here.
Okay, is 1 more minute enough?
Minute and a half.
She's not a good example of our department. She's a technical professor.
No, I count 1 time.
I
She found just getting back. You're looking for You're here till 8:50 now. No, I gotta rush you. Here, when are you in Tuesday I'm at Northwestern. Send me an email. Yeah, send me an email. Don't forget. And we'll work our schedule. Thank you.
Boring teachers, forced testing.
What we doing now?
All right, so who's going to be the first group to come up? Okay.
Alright, now we the best, so they go first. They go first. No, they first. Alright.
I need a first.
They up first. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
What's up?
Rock, paper, scissors,
Rock,
shoot.
paper, scissors, shoot.
Ain't
no gun. This ain't Waka Flocka. You gotta go.
But you ain't even put up nothing.
Yes, I did.
What you threw up?
Life.
We gotta see what you're working with. Yeah, y'all gotta go. So you gotta, man, it ain't only two groups.
Will any group volunteer to come up here first?
Y'all go
Here
first,
we go. Great, we got them.
And if your whole team will go behind you, you ain't about nothing. Because our whole team come behind us. Oh, let's go on up.
Well, come on. Come on. You can do it. Come on. You'll set a high standard. Come on.
Come on, man.
So is your group going to come up with you?
Oh, man.
Okay. Okay. I'm getting it. All right, let's be a great audience and give them lots of attention.
You gotta give him a little busy because y'all is cool chatter. Hey, she said out lame. Oh, we lame?
No, honey. No, honey. We did not say that. We did not say that.
When you warmed up, chill. All right, come on, man. Come on.
Go.
Drop the beat, Frank.
I want my money back. Don't loud, you're killing it.
I got you.
Yeah. All right. Nah, you ain't in our group. No, he's trying to be fun. Come on. Go ahead, man.
You sure?
Yeah.
What type of beat you want?
Any beat, exotic. You gotta come over here.
You got another pencil? Because I used to be back in middle school.
Good.
You say exotic?
Anything. Like an exotic dancer. Okay. No, I can't do it.
Oh my God.
I can give you a good beat. Go ahead.
My dog. Yo, when the one bird flock together, we all flock. Whoa. Come on, be Robin.
Yeah, we're gonna. Are you ready or not? You're stuck? Okay. You're stuck. Yeah, why don't y'all come on up then? Oh, okay. All right, how about y'all going on up now? Okay, because we're running out of time. We're running out of time. Yeah. Sorry. I hate to rush creativity, but we got we have a time.
Write it over again so that we can read it because there's a lot of scribble.
Sorry.
And you know our team.
Could we sit quiet? Like the bodyguards in the back because people that music videos can just stand there and hear what they go down.
Saturday, ACT, that's all we seem to do. Monday through Friday, Saturday too. Test, test, test. That's all we seem to take. Boring teachers always giving me homework through the break. So let's take the initiative. So focused on passing the FCAT, we can't be creative. Forget it, let's get the test up. I'm tired of always doing this. It ain't smart, is it? I'm tired of doing this work. Let's be artistic, be creative. No, my bad, go ahead.
All right. Okay. I think we have time for another group. Anybody ready to go? Y'all ready? Come on
I
up.
was trying to write again because like, I can't see it.
He was on our team. He was on our team.
Okay, do I have anyone else? Any other team that wants to come up? Oh my goodness, don't be shy.
18, baby.
You're almost ready? Well, we have one group that's almost ready. Do we have anybody who is ready?
I need you to teach me not to be shy.
Because Eric will throw me out of this room, so I have to be on time. Well, while she's getting ready, how about if one or two people might answer this question for me. You know, part of this series is about global learning. And what in the world does that mean? What does it mean to be a learner who has a global perspective? So, what in the world could science and hip-hop and other disciplines bring, what could they bring to the table to get us ready to be global learners and global citizens? Yes.
Well, science is a respected aspect internationally. As far as that goes, music is also another respected aspect internationally. So bringing them together will make one big, large aspect that everyone can some way, somehow relate to.
Right. Okay. So you're bringing together different perspectives, right? Yes. You're done and you're ready. All right.
You needed a beat?
You want to help her with
I don't know, I just came up with it like 30 seconds ago.
Beat her team.
Come on up and help her with the beat.
No,
She'll just do a background beat for you.
Okay, I got DJ Vans and the ones and twos over there. Okay.
Don't make it
Something slow.
Hey, don't
Because
be
it's like from the heart. I go in, I get judged. I walked out, I got judged. First period class, how am I gonna pass? I got homework up, the teacher says I wear my pants down low, that my brain is too slow. One day I will put on a show, let the world know I'ma be better than the clothes I wear, make my parents proud. But at first I gotta get out of the hood. I'm so misunderstood, wish you knew where I stood.
Thank you so much to all of you. So when you, yes, you like that, okay? Yes, I think we all like that, okay. Good job, he wants to tell you. So, how do you feel about going back into your classrooms and having a very polite and affirmative conversation with your teachers or your professors about the possibilities of you bringing your own thinking into the classroom to integrate with whatever the disciplinary thinking is in the moment? How does that feel to you? Does that feel, yes?
It's probably going to be hard because a lot of the professors here are kind of And they're,
I'm ancient. There's probably nobody older here than me.
and they are like, you know, sometimes older people are like so stuck in their ways, so they don't want to do what the teacher in the video was doing in the grade, the way we learn. It's the way they learn. They're like, okay, I'm the teacher, and y'all got to learn what I say anyway, so we're going to do it my way.
I hear that. I hear that. Does anybody have a different perspective on that?
She's right. She's down with the
Yeah,
thing,
yeah.
but she's right.
So it looks like we're going to have to kind of have some meetings of the mind, right? Because if we stereotype all professors who are, you know, aging as those who won't be open, then we're kind of stuck, aren't we? We're kind of locked into a perspective that might not take us anywhere, right? That kind of perspective, although sometimes is true, also might be untrue. So we might want to explore that, right? And that really is what global learning is all about, is listening to different perspectives and being open to the possibility that what I believe in the moment may not be the truth, may not be the reality of the moment, right? So I have to open up to all the different perspectives and listen to, because if you look at the faces of the audience in this room, I think we all probably come, many of us, from different ethnicities, right? Yet we were all drawn to this topic. So no matter what ethnicity we're from, we can be open to others, right? I mean, that's what that principle was saying, right? That difference needs to be celebrated. So we need to celebrate it even along age lines, don't we? Yes, yeah. I know my daughter thinks I'm an old fogey too, so I understand that dynamic. But as young people, you also have to be open, right? To hear the voices of others. And sometimes professors like myself are boring. And sometimes we are closed-minded. But we can be opened up. We can. Okay? Thank you for coming. You were wonderful. You were wonderful.